Hello, everybody. Thought I'd come on here live for the solar annular eclipse, which means it's almost a total solar eclipse. Very, very close. And it's happening in 5 hours from now. So I thought I'd pop on live with y'all. And so if you have any questions or comments, definitely type them in the chat. I want this to be interactive. Hopefully some people are on live right now. I'm in Southeast Asia. And okay, we got some thumbs up. Awesome. Yeah, tune in live. I love the live vibes. So we have the sun and the moon at 28 degrees Aquarius, which we talk a lot about crypto on this channel, which is in the 8th house of Bitcoin. So Aquarius is the sign of, can represent technology and crypto. And being in the 8th house, the 8th house is can be investments, other people's money, finances, those types of things. So it's in the financial axis of the 2nd and the 8th house. So this could absolutely affect crypto, and it already has, because the energy of eclipses can impact things well in advance. In astrology, it can affect things months in advance, but conservatively, let's say a month before. And look at what's happened to crypto and Bitcoin a month before. We got an incredible dump. And this was exactly, a month before. We can go on the daily chart. Let's see. So a month before this eclipse, yeah, 34 days we started dumping well in advance. And we have not been able to, get much higher from the lows here. The low was at $60,000. That's crazy. Not too long ago, we were at 98, just a month ago. Wow. This is what happens in bear markets. And this is what happens when people, only a month ago was at 98K. I'm sure there was lots of people who are calling for new all-time highs here. You got to be very, very careful in a bear market. Be careful who you listen to. I was just talking to a client about this. Eliminate the people who told you we're going to an all-time high. Never listen to them again. All right? You got to be, if you want to, succeed in this game, you got to cut out the noise and you got to stay focused. So narrow it down to your top 3. If you're gonna follow people, make sure that they have a proven track record. Like myself, where I sold back in October. All right, and I can show you. Let's see. We could upload, or we could find the video here. You go to my channel, and we scroll down to October. And you go to this video where I say I'm selling. All right, so continue to watch videos with me if you want people with a proof.
The IRS is coming for your crypto gains, but it doesn't have to be that way. With a crypto
ads. Okay, guys, so here's my video on October 14th. Right here. Say that I was selling. Okay, and the proof is in this video. And for those people who were calling, all-time highs when we were at 98K, they don't deserve your attention anymore. It's just ridiculous what these influencers are saying. All right, 90% of these influencers don't really know what they're doing, and they're just doing this for views and popularity. All right. Some of them having good intentions, but not a good track record. Some of them don't have good intentions. So be very, very careful who you listen to. Be very discerning. All right. During this eclipse, eliminate the people, the influencers from your life that you listen to that do not have a good track record, do not have your best interest at heart. maybe they care more about themselves and their own benefit than you. And narrow it down. Only focus on your top 3 people that have a proven track record. Few channels I recommend are Michael and Jason Pizzino, as well as the Blockchain Backer, and then myself. I think those 3 would be a very, very good balance. Plus, my channel, none of them talk about astrology, so I bring the extremely unique approach of crypto astrology with proven track record. 86% prediction so far in the last 3 years. Not based on every single thing I've said, because nobody can, get everything right with what they're saying, but it's based on my official predictions that I gave month by month for the Bitcoin predictions. And now I'm adding in XRP predictions, occasionally Ethereum, but the main predictions are the Bitcoin monthly that I come out each month. All right, so let's see if we have any commenters. Good morning. Hello from Tasmania. Wow. Awesome. Love that we got people from all over the globe here. XRP, $150. Yeah, I can't believe, only a few months ago, people were calling for $700 XRP. Like, are you kidding me? Delete them from your freaking life, man. These influencers are, I don't know. It's just very frustrating that I see so many influencers guiding people in the wrong direction. 95% of them saying the wrong things at the wrong time, saying we're going to all-time highs when we're at 98K and we fall off a cliff. Just like I was warning you guys about. All right. And that's the most incredible thing about my astrological crypto astrology analysis is we've seen time and time again a big dump heading into the total lunar eclipse. We're getting it again. Another confirmation. Now, this today is not the total lunar eclipse. This is the solar eclipse today. But the fact that we get a total lunar eclipse, and this is going to be the last one for a long time. Let's look at, and that's really good news, actually. It's actually really bullish long term. I'm thinking really long term. That shows here we get a total lunar eclipse on March 3rd. And then after that, then the next one, they're just partial lunar eclipses. Now, I don't even count the partial lunar eclipses because those are not nearly as bearish as the total lunar eclipses. I knew my daughter was going to come. All right, guys, we have a guest coming in. My daughter might come in at any moment. And so the next total lunar eclipse is 2029. Yes. Okay, Lisa, I'm on a live video, okay? Do you want to say hi to the people? Or do you want to go play? Okay, here's my daughter. She loves to come in my live videos. Hi.
Hey, I can't.
You want to say hi? Do you want to see yourself? Yeah. There's your little... Do you have anything you want to say?
No.
Do you want to sing a song?
No.
Okay. But no, you can't stay here because I'm doing a video, but you can go play if you want.
Why can
but
I not hold the frog?
I need to do this video and then I can. But why don't you go play with mommy, okay?
Yeah, but can you tell me why can I not play with the frog anymore?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now, honey.
Please just tell me.
Okay. God, life can be challenging with kids, man. Okay, do you want to say anything, or otherwise you got to go back to the house, okay?
Okay.
You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi.
Good. And what's your favorite song?
So many songs.
Okay.
Favorite.
Okay, we got some
My
comments.
favorite song is Amazing Grace.
Okay, good. Her favorite song is Amazing Grace. So we have comments here. Forgive me. Okay, honey, I'm going to do crypto stuff. So why don't you go back to the house and play, okay? Oh, man. We're still working on boundaries. She doesn't really understand. And she's probably going to make a lot of sounds here. All right, so it says, forgive me if a rude question is addressed earlier. Yes, love the Pizzinos. I'm in their service. Yeah. I don't know what a Fiocus sign is. Not sure. Yep, I listened to the ones who said it was going higher. Yeah, that's happens every time. Every time. God bless the children. Hi. Yeah. I let her come in the videos because you guys often like it. Even though it really throws me off mentally, but all right. So we were going back to here. I wanted to look at previous total lunar eclipses. Whoopsies. Now the one on September 8th was one of the most bullish total lunar eclipse we've ever seen in Bitcoin's history. Somehow the Bitcoin price went way up. And then it did get a dump into the total lunar eclipse. And that was, how much of a dump was that? 13%. All right. But then the previous eclipse we had in March 11th, I believe, and we got a huge dump. This was 2025. And we got a 30% dump into that one. Now it started dumping how early before? That was 52 days before that total lunar eclipse. The one in September was 25 days before it started dumping. And this one we started dumping well before. 49 days, jeez. Now let's look at previous total lunar eclipses. The FTX crash happened on the day of the total lunar eclipse of 2022, which was just so wild. This is when I became a true believer in crypto astrology. We literally have the FTX crash on the total lunar eclipse. That was one of the most wild days. This one we started dumping well before. In 2022, that was the Luna crash, 48 days. That's similar to where we are now. Yeah, so we could be in a similar situation as this, like the Luna crash. But we haven't had a major narrative come out. Nothing as scary as like the Luna crash. Okay, this eclipse was 16 days before it started crashing. This one is, yeah. So, I mean, look at every time we see a blue line, we see major dump. Now, the red lines are typically more bullish. And the interesting thing is that, and that's the solar eclipse. So we're having a solar eclipse today, but we have not seen much upside at all. And I wasn't expecting much upside because typically the total lunar eclipses are so bearish that I wasn't getting my hopes up. But perhaps, I mean, the best case scenario is the bottom's already in. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's the best case scenario. But man, the fact that we could not get above 72 is a red flag. So we certainly could have more downside heading into this total lunar eclipse. We could head into the 50Ks. It's certainly possible. Definitely possible. So I'm still mostly on the sidelines. I have like maybe 10% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, and then the rest is cash. I just cannot risk my capital right now. There's just eclipse season, and eclipses are times of great changes, super high volatility. The fact that we're getting square to Uranus on this eclipse. So if you look here on the solar eclipse, we're getting almost an exact 90-degree square to Uranus. And Uranus brings volatility, brings unpredictability, wild swings, and it's almost like a stress test for crypto and for our lives. And in the broader scheme of things, the energy is the old systems are dying and the future foundations are being built. And that's true with crypto and with AI technology. The future systems are being created. This eclipse destabilizes false certainty, exposes fragile systems. So we could get more liquidity events. It prepares the ground for April because that's when Uranus switches into Gemini, which is going to be another huge day. April 26th could be extremely volatile. So the old world is continuing to die, and we're heading into a major new world. But it doesn't come out without challenges. It doesn't come out without the old systems crumbling, which can bring a lot of craziness, volatility. So it's a time to pay attention that something fundamental is changing. Yesterday, we just had the sun squaring Uranus. That brings more, volatility, emotional reactivity. I felt totally exhausted yesterday. Who felt exhausted? I laid down and I felt like I couldn't get up. I was just like laying down almost for maybe a couple hours. Just some days with certain astrology, I just feel like I could just have to lay down the whole day. It's not a bad thing. It's just listen to your body, do whatever you need to do. To deal with these wild energies. This can be increased anxiety. You can be more impulsive than usual. This is mental and emotional exhaustion and overstimulation. Just like watching videos or shows feels exhausting to me. Taking in information can feel exhausting. It's because we're getting this hard square to Uranus. People can experience sudden clarity as well about what's unstable in their life, what's not working. Uranus can really shake things up in our lives. It could be a good time to let go of people that are not in our best interest. You may feel a need to break away from outdated structures or old patterns that are no longer working in your life. This is a wake-up call eclipse. All right, so it's a time for change. Eclipses are always great times of change. And really, after this eclipse, things will never be the same. So it's not a time to try to fantasize about going back to the way things were. No, things are never going to be the same. We are heading into very, very new energies because we have Pluto. It's gone into Aquarius, which is all about the future in the new world. Then we have Neptune that recently just went into Aries. Wait. Let's go to... Neptune just went into Aries. Saturn just went into Aries. We haven't seen a Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries for how many years? 6,000 years. All right, this is not just a little thing. This is massive. This is bringing in this is a 6,000-year transit. This is bringing in a whole new world, a whole new identity for ourselves and for humanity. And then if that wasn't enough, then in April we have Uranus. It's in Taurus right now. It's going to go into Gemini. And that hasn't happened for decades, since the 1940s. And that's massive. And that's going to be a lot of things related to technology, AI, accelerating crazy amount of information, because Gemini rules information and media. Oh man. And I heard that this Uranus going into Gemini could bring even more, like, who gets so many spam calls and spam texts and spam emails that things could really escalate like a lot with spam stuff. So we really need to protect ourselves. Yeah, Yeah, and be very hyper discerning, you know, in not opening, not falling for scams in our spam and our text messages and all that craziness. So we got to be extremely discerning because AI bots are going to continue to expand. We're honestly, I'm seeing it all over social media. I don't fall for like fake AI commenters, fake AI bot accounts. We have to be, we got to be more discerning than ever, and we got to learn from our mistakes and not fall for fake AI bots over people who have your best interests. Hopefully that makes sense. This eclipse is in Aquarius. Aquarius rules crypto, but eclipses remove certainty before they create opportunity. So there's a lot of unknown here still. We're not out of the woods. With this square to Uranus, you know, there's not full clarity with which way things are going. Conviction is low for, I think, your average investor, but there are some signs that smart money could be accumulating. But that doesn't mean that we don't have further downside. We could have more for the short term. Volatility increases, but direction is unclear. This is a shakeout. This is like the initial shakeout, you know, where Bitcoin is acting defensively. It's holding support so far. It's holding up. Actually, surprisingly, altcoins, well, some altcoins are holding up, like XRP. But the market is awaiting clarity here, and we're awaiting confirmation on what's going to happen. But we still have 2 more weeks heading into this total lunar eclipse. Smart money. This is a time for smart money to sit back and observe and not chase the trend. As we could get random volatility, narrative confusion, where weak hands get flushed out. This eclipse exposes which projects are fragile versus resilient. Think this is an initial stress test. This is not time to prepare for the next moonshot. We are definitely not out of the woods yet. So there's some altcoins like SPX. What is that meme coin called? The XPX one is doing horrible. You know, some are doing terrible, but XRP is holding up like decently well. But at the same time, people were saying last year, I still cannot believe this, that XRP was going to $700. And I made 3 videos about why XRP is not going to $700. Man, maybe I should have just made more videos because I just could not believe the amount of euphoria that was going on when XRP was only above $3 and people were calling $700 XRP. By the end of the year, and what did we see? We just saw it fall off a cliff. It still blows my mind. Okay, let's see what kind of comments we have. Ooh. Happy New Horse here. Yes, we do have the Chinese New Year here. XRP has experienced a significant downturn with prices dropping more than 50%. Yeah, good call. I mean, the only thing what I was referring to was, you know, XRP dropped down to 1.6 or 112. Wow. And then it's rebounded. I meant to say the rebound has been stronger than other alts for the most part. Like, let's look at render. I mean, but you're right. XRP has dropped considerably, and which is why I sold back here, so that we can buy down here. There's concern that we got this big wick up and then sellers came in. A lot of selling happened on February 15th, which is actually the day when there's a negative, I think there's a negative astrology transit for XRP. But yeah, we saw a lot of selling action from $1.66 all the way down to where we are now. So that's a concern. Now, best case scenario, XRP could, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but best case is going to head to 180. I'd say that's the best case scenario, but that's only short term. I don't even necessarily think that's going to, I mean, it could happen. But then we could just head down from here down to $1. It's possible. But the good news is I think we have experienced the bulk of the downside move. 53% downside in the last month and a half. That's a huge bulk of the downside move. Now we could have a little bit more. That's what I'm expecting, which is why I'm in cash. Yeah. You see Solana dumping too. Solana has already dumped considerably. Can't believe it's already gotten down to 80. I remember 2 years ago, I was like, I'm waiting for Solana to get to $80. It never did until now. It took 2 years. I have Saturn and Neptune opposing my ascendant. Whoa. Been existing rather than functioning. I know what you mean, brother. I have been there. Oh, man. Yeah, I have been there before. I know what you mean. Just existing, not much functioning. Yeah, man. I feel like I had a year or a few years back in like 2016, 2018, around there. I was like, there were so many days where I was just like not functioning, almost just like laying down the whole day. The world waited 6,000 years to conjunct 180 degrees from ascendant. Great. Yeah. Appreciate your time for coming live. Love and gratitude for you and your family. Yeah, much love, man. And Morden says, I did read somewhere that everyone is shorting now, which to me is also suspicious. Wow. People are shorting. Yeah, okay. So maybe most people are flipping bearish now, which could actually be a bullish sign. You see the Moon Boys, Jake Cleaver coming out when XRP hit $1.66. Yeah, exactly. That's when you want to sell. When you see these Moon Boys coming out, that's when you want to take profits. This game is so messed up, man. You guys want to do the opposite. Glad you are here. Glad I am here for a short period. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great for people to be tuning in here live. So let's see. Well, I wanted to look really quick at the liquidations. I mean, so according to this CoinGlass liquidations, the market is still pretty balanced. I mean, let's see, 141,000 longs got wrecked. So there are still a lot of people going long. Yeah, just by the data here, you look at the 49% long, 50.3% shorts. So yeah, there's a little bit more people shorting, but once we get to like 3% difference between these two, where like there's 3% more people shorting, then that's actually super bullish. So I'll let you guys know if and when I see that. Maybe we'll see that in March, maybe we'll see it in April, but that could be a great buying opportunity. I'm also waiting for the VIX to shoot up. Now, we're seeing a very noticeable uptrend here on the VIX. Look at this. And this could be hinting at a big liquidity event coming up here. Look at that. We are heading up, 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 and up, making higher lows. And that could mean that we are heading towards a big liquidation event. You look at these past Katana Kenshas, but specifically the most obvious one was the April 7th, the Trump tariffs crash. That was one of the best buying opportunities. When, what was XRP back then? I think it was higher than it is now. Oh, XRP was at $1.61. So that was a great buying opportunity at the time. And Bitcoin dumped down to, what, 75? Yeah, 74.30. So yeah, I'm waiting for another spike in the VIX. In tandem with some fearful news. We still haven't seen any major news events. I mean, I guess besides the Epstein files. But there's definitely a chance that we could. I mean, if you look at this trend line here, I think it's certainly possible we get a pump up to here or to around like 30, 35, 36. And I mean, if we get above 30, that's, well, even if we get above 25, that could mean we're heading into a big liquidation event where perhaps we would see like a 10, 20% dump with the S&P 500, which would no doubt spill into crypto and gold and silver. So it's tough to say exactly when that, nobody knows exactly when that's going to happen. But it certainly could happen in March. It could also happen in April. But yeah, especially with this total lunar eclipse, we are ripe for an opportunity of a correction. Yeah, but like I said, it could also be April because we have the Uranus ingressing into Gemini in April, which could also be extremely volatile. One thing that's really interesting is take a look at this. Let's make it bigger. These are the Dow Jones averages since for the last more than 100 years. And you look at the, make sure you can see the whole thing. Where we are now is the blue line. Where we are, the averages are the line below. And it shows, you know, it shows a little correction second part of February. And then another correction in March. Just a lot of volatility, which lines up with kind of the fire horse year where it's like we go up, then we go down, then we go up, then we go down. This lines up really well with the Bitcoin astrology where Bitcoin gets a negative transit at the end of March, March 26th. Or maybe it's March 24th, where we could get a low there, and that could be a great buying opportunity, end of March. Then we go up, heading with Uranus about to ingress into Gemini, but then it actually shows a market peak. So people could be calling for an altcoin run. We actually could get an altcoin run, perhaps March to April. And then it shows a peak in April before Uranus ingresses into Gemini. And then it goes down all the way till June. So that's a big concern. So there's a chance that in April could be a phenomenal profit-taking opportunity if you haven't already. I'd say that's one of the best chances. Because then there could be downside all the way to the summer before we rebound again. So I thought that was fascinating. Thanks from Jason Pizzino there. He's coming out with some really great stuff. All right. You're welcome. You discovered me so late. Well, it's better late than never. Appreciate my truth sharing. Much love. Will Solana dump more? Yeah, it's certainly possible. It's fascinating that we've already gotten to $80 Solana. I can't even believe it. It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, March, it's tough to say. March, we either get a higher low, which is possible, or we get a lower low. I think Solana could easily head to $40 again at some point. I'm not sure if it's going to be next month or April or the summer. Maybe, it's certainly possible, maybe March we get a higher low. And then April it gets a pump. And then we dump after that all the way to the summer. And maybe in the summer we get $40 Solana. That's probably my best guess. Am I waiting for Solana to go lower, or is this the entry? That's a great question. That's the $1 million question. It's tough, man. Like, I haven't bought Solana yet. It is tempting. I'm personally waiting for the total lunar eclipse. It could get a little bit more upside, but in my opinion. I don't know if that's worth it for just like a little bit upside. It could easily go to 120 again. It's just tricky though with this eclipse season. I just don't know how much I want to buy. I haven't bought any yet, but if you're willing to hold a year, I think it is a good buy opportunity. If you're willing to hold at least that long. After this total lunar eclipse, when do I decide to invest back, going into Bitcoin or altcoins? Great question. I'm doing my best to focus on Bitcoin. I tend to invest in altcoins a lot as well, but yeah, I'm encouraging myself to be a little bit safer this time. So ideally, investing in Bitcoin, probably XRP as well, as it's holding up decently well. Maybe Solana. Do you have a chart for USDT dominance? Yes. Ooh, Suksuma. We have someone who knows Balinese. Love it. Suksuma means thank you in Balinese. Fun fact. Well, Bitcoin's doing okay right now. Let's see. Yeah, USDT dominance has gone up considerably. Interesting that it's peaking out in a very similar level to the bear market of 2022. So, but the fact that it's made higher lows shows that, let's zoom out here. It's tough. I mean, because we could... Actually, let's see if I can make a trend line here. I'm actually not an expert at this, but just for fun, there's these lines here that are kind of lining up with these lines. That could be a trend line there, people. What do you guys think? Is that a decent trend line, or am I just totally off here? But that looks like a decent trend line because we have some peaks here. Then it was holding this trend line as resistance here before it broke down. And now we're testing it again up here. And we've already hit that level of resistance and got rejected. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Maybe we'll make it a little smaller. Yeah, I mean, that could be a legit trend line. Actually, I kind of like it thicker. All right, so yeah, we hit that trend line and got rejected so far. And we do have a bunch of liquidity down here, so there's a chance we could go down there for a little bit. Maybe we head down here in April, where we get a little crypto run. I say little, I'm emphasizing little. Kind of like we did back here in the beginning of halfway through the bear market of 2022, where we got this peak and then we fell all the way back down here, but then it went all right back up again. And it still had getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So it was still, quite the bear market. Wait, no, actually the bear market ended around here when it started to fall off. So we got like a double top. So we got one peak here. So there's a chance we head down, get this liquidity real quick, maybe in April. And then we head back up. Perhaps in June, up to June or something. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, when USDT dominance dumps, that could be a crypto run. Yeah, like I said, it could be like April. That's what I'm thinking. This liquidity gap is around. One of my clients and colleagues says he's looking at these levels 6.5% and like 6.9% to take profits. So we're still not there yet. Hopefully that makes sense. Can I ask when you summer? Is it ending in August? I'm not sure what you're asking. You're just asking when is the end of the bear market? Well, I think we could have a potential market low. I don't know if it's a local low. We could have a local low in like June or July. I don't know if it's the actual, or it could be the actual bear market low. Is it bullish on my daily chart, USDT? Yeah. Yeah, USDT is pretty bullish, which means we're in a bear market. Trend line for sure. All right, you like my trend line? You like it? Wow, it's your birthday, Tara? Holy moly, happy birthday. Aquarius love on the solar eclipse. Wow. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tara. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Beautiful singing. Pat myself on the back. Yeah, so. All right, you guys like this trend line? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, pretty interesting there. Okay. What else? Oh, I could give you guys some sneak peeks, some really good stuff. I just created the Bitcoin and Solana master timeline for the astrology for this entire year, month by month. If you want access to this, click the link below. I will include it with the Crypto Astro Mastermind as a bonus. So when you sign up, you'll get instant access to this. It'll be sent to your email inbox. But yeah, January, Solana had a really negative astrology. And then especially on the 29th, we had a super negative transit for Solana, which is why I was not buying it. This is why I love these crypto astrology, because I was like tempted to buy Solana at like, you know, $150 or something. But like in reality, all these negative transits were showing that we had further downside. So I did not buy any until maybe I'll buy some soon. I'm not sure. But let's see, you know, what happened to Solana in January. We just went down. Down, down, down. Let's zoom in. Look at this. Look how on point the astrology was. We got a negative Saturn transit. We get massive dumping. And then we got a negative Saturn transit at the end of January. That was perfect. I mean, it still blows my mind how accurate this can be. It's mind-blowing. So literally, astrology helped me, you know, not buy at, you know, 125 because I saw that we were going further down, or at least there was a considerable risk of going further down. But yeah, of course, if you're willing to hold a year, yeah, I mean, great buy opportunity, but short term, yeah, I'm not sure. But there's a chance we've experienced the bulk of the downside. Okay, so back to the good stuff here. February, we also saw negative transits for Solana with Saturn. Saturn often brings contraction. Saturn conjunctions and squares often bring contractions. We got a massive contraction for Solana. We got another negative on the 13th. That's arguably holding the price down. You know, we got a little bit of a rebound, but it's still quite low. I mean, we're still in the 80s. So yeah, the astrology is still holding up with very high accuracy. Let's see what's in store. March, we have the total lunar eclipse in Virgo. Big concern there. We do get a slight positive for Bitcoin, showing that Bitcoin could be holding up okay. But then we get a huge negative on the 24th, which could also bring altcoins down. And then Solana, man, we get March 26th, super negative for Solana, at least for one of the Solana astrology charts. The theme is weakness gets exposed, fear of dips, repair. So there could be further downside around March 26th. Yeah, so that's why I'm not getting super bullish yet, but that could be a great buy opportunity. Yeah, so if you guys want access to this full month by month astrology timeline for Solana and Bitcoin, as well as I'm also throwing in, I've done this for Bitcoin, which has been very on point so far. You know, as I've predicted downside for the first few months, which has been totally accurate. And then XRP has been very accurate because XRP got a super negative transit around February 10th, and we got massive downside into that date for XRP. Ethereum has been quite accurate because it also had a negative around February 10th. I warned you guys about this months in advance. Or I warned you guys about that in January when I made these timelines. I'm just making these. These are fresh off the press. And then I just made this Solana one. And I'm going to give you all, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you all 4 of these when you sign up for the Crypto Aster Mastermind as a bonus, instantly sent to your inbox. We only have 3 more spots this month during this eclipse season, so definitely jump on this now. You do not want to lose more of your hard-earned gains. Throw yourself a bone and give yourself the confidence to succeed in 2026 and not lose your hard-earned money. All right, one of the best strategies is so simple for crypto, and it helps us make money every single cycle instead of lose money. Most people lose money in crypto because they get way too euphoric at the top, and then they just hold on and they don't sell any, and then they see their crypto portfolio go down 90%. Whereas if you have the right mindset of, I will not lose money, very simple strategy, do not lose money, protect your capital, then you have no fear of selling when your portfolio is in the green, because your strategy, one of the main core fundamentals of your strategy is to not lose your money. So that's why in October, I saw major indicators that are pointing more downside, including the astrology, including the MACD on the weekly scale. We were getting a cross down, signaling major downside to come, a potential bear market. And I took profits. I was one of the few people on planet Earth that did this. I felt like it was just me, and everyone else was thinking we're going up. It's always lonely at the top because most people don't want to listen, and we just got further downside, as you guys can see. So protect your hard-earned capital, follow the right people, and cut out the rest of the noise, and you will succeed with the right mindset and strategy. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Do I see Bitcoin going down to 25K? No, I don't think so. He's calling. Well, of course, people call the craziest numbers when we're in a bear market. That's what happened last time in the last bull run, where people were saying, I will not buy any Bitcoin until it goes below 12K. And what happened? We never got there. All right, so when we're in a bear market, people call for prices that are way too low. That's happened to every single bear market. He is accurate, so if Bitcoin drops 60%, well, how accurate is he? Did he sell in October? Probably not. So then I wouldn't say he's accurate. But let me know. I don't know who this guy is. But no, I don't think Bitcoin's going that low. I'd say 40K is definitely possible. Zcash has been doing well. Looks like XRP is having a Rahu Ketu semi-return to 26. Okay, interesting. That's Vedic astrology. All right. Well, if we look at the Bitcoin ETF liquidations, there's more selling than buying, which is slightly bullish, but I think we could get another flush out. either March or April. And we want to see like a big bar here of sellers, like we did happen in what was that, February 2025. That was pretty close to the low. It wasn't exactly, but it was close. And then look at, people mostly buy the ETFs when we're at the market peaks. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any further questions. Bitcoin dominance is still just stalled out for such a long time. Okay, the really interesting thing, I've been talking to AI and plugging in a bunch of market analysis here. And after the liquidation event we had in February, where we dumped down to 60K, I plugged in the current market conditions. And AI was saying, that, well, it's kind of summarizing what happened here. USDT.D was peaking. Big B volume, 7-day moving average was high. The Bitcoin dominance crashed and then recovered. That was saying that people were not just using Bitcoin as a flight to safety, which typically happens in a bear market. People did not fully abandon the altcoins. So the whole complex reset together. It's saying that is not what happens at the start of a new bear leg. So it's potentially, AI analysis is saying that the majority of the downside potentially is over. But that doesn't mean that we don't have another move down, perhaps in March or April. But like I've been saying, like if you're easily able to hold another year, prices are pretty low right now. And gold and silver, or especially gold, had a pretty nice rebound. Whereas the equities, the S&P 500 only fell 3%. So the crypto crash was not macro driven. And it was saying, which is why crypto can recover fast. The fact that XRP had such a fast recovery was showing that XRP is still retail heavy. When XRP snaps back over 30% in one day, it shows that risk appetite is still alive. So we are not fully on risk off because XRP rebounded so high. It shows that it just needed to clear out the leverage. So it's saying we are now in a post-capitulation reacceptance phase where leverage gets flushed out, panic, volatility spikes. This is the playbook for a major low. So interesting that AI is pretty bullish actually on the current market dynamics. The best case, it's saying that we get choppy consolidation, which we're getting so far, and potential higher lows from here on, which is a bit more bullish than I am. We could get a couple more scary wicks. But so far, I don't think alts are outperforming Bitcoin on up days. But it's saying the bottom line is the market tested the floor and found buyers immediately. So that's actually fairly bullish. We saw capitulation. We saw hope, destruction, volatility spike, stablecoin peak, and a violent reclaim. So I agree with this that it's a signature of an important low. I don't know if it's the actual low, but definitely a cycle-defining low. So that's very significant that we could have already seen the bulk of the downside already. So either in March we get a higher low or a lower low. So yeah, tricky. But yeah, I'm almost willing to wait until March to see what happens. And maybe we do get like a, maybe we just kind of go sideways, and then maybe we get like a higher low in March. If that's the case, like I'm okay buying in the 60Ks or something. And then maybe it's tricky to say exactly what's going to happen. Maybe like goes up to 80 or something, and then maybe it corrects back down. I think we're going to just see a lot of up, down, up, down. Maybe it goes down again and at the end of March. And then maybe I'll buy like right here. Even if it's a higher low, it's still like I'm okay with that. If I miss out on a little bit of upside, that's okay. Or maybe it's like a higher low at like 72 or something. Who knows? But then in the worst case, it's a lower low and we head down to like 55 or something like that, which is totally possible. Or maybe it's a higher low and then April. We could even see a big move in April. Let's say we get to like, I don't know, something crazy, 95 or something. I don't know if that's going to happen, but, and then we see a big move after that. Or we could even see something crazy, like we like dump down to 55 after that or something. That would be wild. But yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes on the markets. And I'd say I do best on the monthly updates. So stay tuned for my March month update, as we'll have a bit more clarity on which direction the markets are going. So definitely stay tuned. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please show change in global liquidity line. Yeah, crypto has not been following that. So, but let's take a look at it. I haven't been looking at that anymore because it was not. It was showing not to be very accurate anymore. Yeah, because you look at the change in global liquidity and it just keeps going up, 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 and Bitcoin and crypto just goes down, 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 down. Yeah, so it hasn't been following it very closely anymore. As you can see there, massive divergence. But perhaps we could catch up later in the year. It's possible. Or next year. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out, everybody. Much love and best of luck on this solar eclipse and the total lunar eclipse heading on March 3rd. All right, talk to you guys soon.